Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is May 7th, 2025, and we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have our update for tonight. Getting into the thick of things, straight off the bat, we have, as it loads, the good old, as implied, since we already have the base F90 in the game, we have its sibling unit, this time in the form of the Oldsmobile Army version of Zeon. The Zeon type version F90 has now arrived in game. This is a 3-star. We'll get into that shortly because we also have a limited supply drop for the Zeon Gundam. So if you missed out on it, this is your second chance to get it. If you're doing 10 pulls for this, do you get a chance to get MAFTY's normal suit, both the helmet and a normal suit? So pretty neat stuff. And yes, it's a boosted supply drop for it. So 7 and 10 step guaranteed. We have some changes to the recycle ticket counter as follows, with the level 3 full armored Gundam Mark II being added, the compliant level 1 and 2, which is 500 and 550 respectively, the Vertex Kianos, the general type, good old EOS spinning weapon, knocks everybody down type of thing. The level 2 has been added, as well as its support brethren. We don't have any changes to... okay, sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. It looks like the level 2 F90 weapons are being added, which answers another question that I didn't even get to ask yet, but we'll get into that when we go over the main event, because we do have some changes to the DP exchange counter with the Gaz L and the Gaz R and the Zuda F level 4 now being available in the DP store for people to do some crazy shenanigans. To this weekend's new situation battle is the Shuddering Mountain, and just to reiterate things on that, this is a 8th MS themed event with the Federation side, if you're familiar with that scenario, and the separate Zeon side for that. It looks like the Zaku 2 will also have emergency evasion and melee combo controllers, so it'll be coming in as a level 5 300 suit with some tweaks for that scenario, plus some extras, which I think if they were to update a lot of the older suits, including the venerable Zaku 1, that I know a lot of you guys constantly ask, you may not say it out loud, but I know deep down inside, I would say it definitely needs some things to run as well, especially for those low cost ranges to come back up. So there's that. Just to kind of quickly touch bases on clan matches for those of you guys that are interested, this upcoming weekend is a evening match in a resort for basic match. It is a 550 cost range match, so this will be a very, very interesting fight for those of you guys that have found your 550 niche or are struggling to. That's going to be one way to find out if it's good or not. Followed by a 350 simple battle in the week after on the 17th. It's a 4v4 impact site match, and then you also have one with shuffle target, good old shuffle target, 650 cost on tropical desert as a 6v6. The last two after this past weekend are going to be good old morning matches if you're on the west coast. So oh boy, just keep in mind too, this is for the Gelgu Glancer, a 400 cost general type 2-star, which has some tendencies like its high mobility type general at 450. Now, switching gears and getting into our main event, our suit is a 2-star or 3-star raid, both level 1 and level 2, which is very weird. I say weird because it's been a long time since we've had a banner. I would almost say probably at least within a 2 or 4 year span. Don't quote me on that, but at least 2 4 year span since we've had a banner where you're pulling for a level 1 and level 2 suit. So this is a very ballsy move, or really silly move on the developer side. I will let you guys choose what you think it might be, because honestly I am confused, baffled, surprised, and kind of curious to see how it holds up at 750 with the likes of the F90 one kind of just taking over everything. But yes, this is Unit 2 for those of you guys that are unfamiliar with the F90 series. This was captured and modified by the Mars Zeon faction, the Oldsmobile Army, and in UC-120 it was hijacked while undergoing testing and maneuvers at Side 4 and has undergone a significant facelift. So this one is utilizing the Char Aznable operating system, whereas our general type F90, the Unit 1, is utilizing one based on Honor Array. And of course, this is based on usable in space and ground, and it also has its special skill that increases mobility, recovery speed when versus heat, reduces occurrences of staggering due to damage accumulation. So similar skills. It almost seems like it has similar skills to the Prototype Psycho Gundam that we just got. Enables use of primary range weapon during high-speed movement. That's already pretty dirty already. A melee weapon can inflict damage that partially negates enemy unit melee resistance. Oh boy. And then enables reaction. Usual stuff. Got it. And if you're doing 10 pulls for this, you do get the Principality of Zeon normal suit. So with that said, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Alright folks, here we are. We did not get the suit, and since we do have two different iterations, a level 1 and level 2, 700, 750 version, it's only fair to check out its base cost, because it's going to be interesting to see how everything is going to stack up. So, jumping into the thick of things, here we have 21k HP, which is pretty decent for the cost. A little more leaning towards melee resistance, and followed by beam resistance with 26. Melee, I forgot to mention, was 32. So pretty good to work with. It could definitely gives you a little room to kind of compensate for everything kind of done for it to a certain extent. Of course, as with a raid, this has a little more melee leanings, even though there is some notable range power along with it. Longest speed of 140. High speed of 225 with a good generous thruster gauge of 75 and a turning speed of 81. Just to kind of give you a comparison though, since it does have Zeon tuning along with it, there are some similarities, but those similarities end with the fact that stock, the Mars Zeon F90, has a little more resistances going forward considering the raid designation, and also it has a little bit of slightly top speed as well as a little bit more in the thruster gauge. And then the similarities even drop further because it has a unique version of a beam rifle, which kind of resembles a I want to say MMP 80 from the old school Zeon forces there. This is able to shoot I'm assuming burst fire, and then it's able to do focus fire with a very fast charge, 0.8. I think this is one of the fastest in the game right now. Base of 550, so chances are, yeah, it's probably going to be a burst fire. I'm not sure how it's going to divvy up itself. So 8% is not bad on its own, but it's going to be multiple shots. So that'll probably be maybe a 3 or 4 shot burst, most likely. 16-second overheat, which is not bad. But yeah, effective range of 350 meters does kind of cut down on how far you can kind of midline a little bit, especially for being that lone raid. But that'll tie into that high-speed skill as well, I believe, so that shan't be probably an issue. We also have its unique beam saber at 2900, just kind of double check something really quick. Same base power. The difference being is the cooldown time is much faster of 1.5 which is pretty stupid already, with a 1-second charge time for heavy attacks. But it does not. It works with aerial melee, the aerial melee system, but it can't be used while charging. So this is gonna be. I guess they're definitely cooking, and maybe I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, but you got your typical Vulcans going into the sub-weapon category. 80 base power, 60 rounds, 200 effective meters, which is pretty generous considering most handheld machine guns or secondary sub-weapons that they usually throw with a new mobile suit or usually some type of DPS option. That's pretty workable. It does give you a lot to work with. The only thing that kind of hurts a little bit is the reload time is 10 seconds, where that's kind of maybe average. It's kind of leaning towards a little on the slower side, but you're gonna have to kind of just babysit that and know when to actually, if you're kind of only got like a few shots left, you might as well just throw the reload in and get that timer going. We have a anti-mobile suit grenade launcher, 1000 power base power, so this is going to be 2000 per pair, so about a total of 4000 if all 4 shots land. 250 meters, 12-second reload time, and they can be guided. Yeah, this is that's kind of silly, but it does have a limited range, so it's not too crazy, but I can see that being a problem. I'm kind of curious to see what the build stun is going to be like on this, considering a lot of the high cost suits don't really have a lot of ballistic resistance, so it's going to definitely change a lot of the things going on into 700 and up. We also have area denial. It has the grenade launcher in chain explosion form. Base power 300, 4 shots, 250 meters, just like the previous weapon, and an 18-second reload time. So yeah, very similar to the Gaza aerial denial. I forgot which version that is. I know it's on the tip of my tongue. We have so many suits that do similar, even the Ziza. So this thing has it as well. Probably in essence to kind of help out the team and also to get away from its pursuers. So definitely really neat. It also has a suppression gun, grenade launcher, 500 base power, 4 shots, 250 meters, 8-second reload time at 4 seconds. This is a stop to fire, fired rapidly, and on impact it temporarily lowers enemy mobility. So this is probably in part to deal with anything that's fast. So it's fellow F90 type units, or I'm not sure how it really handles anything aerial based, if you can land something that close. Hard to say, but on paper it looks pretty decent. At the same time, the shopping list of skills is pretty nuts. Has MA4, New Armor 4, melee composite system, so it only has 2 swings, but it also damage is reduced during combo attacks. Aerial melee system 2, while you're in the air, increases in power by 30% when it's activated. So mid-air, that's crazy. Force ejector 3, double roll, flight control 4, so it reduces thruster use by 55% right after mid-air high-speed movement or actions. So this is going to be stupid. Anti-blast is pretty crazy. Has active guard 3. That's kind of crazy. Interrupt guard 1. Flat booster 2. As immobile fire system. Reaction caused by range attacks will be reduced. This effect does not apply while focused. Interesting. And then our Char Aznable operating system. This is gonna be allow it kicks in at 80% for 60 seconds. For 60 seconds feels like it's a very long time. So that gives it all that type of shenanigans, similar to what we saw with the Psycho Prototype Gundam there. And I think it's the same amount of time. Doesn't say. I know Char's is specifically 60 seconds, but it doesn't say how long Amuro's is. So it would be kind of unfair to kind of compare them in the same breath, but it definitely is gonna give the more Zeon F90 its unique characteristics which in turn, I think it might be pretty good. Hard to say based on paper, because I didn't get it, and I'll have to rely on people pulling the work. With that said, it's hard for me to be overly excited considering that for this, there's no step up for this. So it's definitely up to chance, and it feels like we're going back to what was old school GBO2. Dual suits, well, one suit, 2 levels, and it's up to the gods to decide if you want to get it. So, with that said, that concludes tonight's update on the new Mars Zeon Gundam F90 type suit, Unit 2. Let me know what you guys think, if it's God's gift to Zeon and a blight upon its enemies, if it's just a paper crane, paper mache suit, looks pretty, but in essence it's not that good, or if you're even gonna pull for it. I tried, game said no, I'm not gonna keep trying, as much as I love Gundam. So let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to talk to you guys soon, but I don't have to wait until the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.